What's good? What's good, fam? Hope y'all misfitting y'all way through. Top of the week. I think a good place for us to get started is we start to develop a schedule for the channel. Mondays, some people find themselves needing motivation, needing a boost, needing to get themselves back in the rhythm of pursuing their purpose, focused on what it is that they're set to accomplish. Clear, honest, precise thinking. I think the best place for us to start on Mondays is a book study. This week I want to look at Working with the Law by Raymond Holliwell. It's a book that Bob Proctor put us on. Uncle Bob, forever the truth, rest easy. Long live Uncle Bob. Students for many years have come to the school asking for a better understanding of God and desiring knowledge of the best way to get the most out of life. They have heard God spoken of as being afar off, when he is as close to us as the breath we breathe, closer than our hands and feet. They have heard him spoken of as love, divine mind, divine intelligence, Jehovah, God, Lord, first cause, primal substance, and other names. Being of an analytical mind, I too have wanted to know the facts of a truth. If it is a truth, there are facts to be had, and they can prove themselves, not alone in spirit, but in a very practical way. That's the type of analytical conversations that I was having on my exodus from religion. If this is true and it's always been true, then there should be more evidence of it, and it should be more practically found in our experience as a reflection of it being true in the spirit. There's a ton of things that we say are true in the spirit that we find are not true in the physical. But then we'll double back and say that all things originate from the spiritual. How could that be so? Such a contradictory statement. I can tell you come from religion. How can one not be a full expression of the other if one is a full dependent of the other? It would have to be so. We, just like us, we were trained to have a double mind, no opinion, no real take on anything, but remain fixed in your stance on whatever you've decided. Sound familiar? Something we ain't never said, but something we've all done. As a student, we are anxious to find ourselves having been wrong so that we can make a correction, apply truth, and align ourselves with what we have discovered. Because what good is it to be in a field of discovery with your eyes closed? What good is it living in a field of discovery pretending that you know already? What good is it if you have no ears to hear? What good is it if you're always comparing what it is that's in front of you to what you've seen before? That you can't discover nothing like that. It takes an open mind to discover. It takes an open heart to discover. It takes open hands to discover. It takes unchained feet to discover. It takes undrained legs to discover. It takes an active intuition and strong sense of the guidance that has been provided for you on the inside. We've all heard that God is somewhere beyond the clouds. We've all listened to the story and have some type of opinion of the story. Most of us in favor of the story because the story is in favor of our fairy tale. It would be amazing if there was a deity on the other side of the clouds who was always looking over me, never missed anything I did, good or bad or indifferent, blessed me when I was amazing or aligned with what I was supposed to do, at least, and didn't immediately condemn me for the wrong that I've done, but allows me to continue in my wrong, or allows for me to make a complete change, metanoia, repent, turn away from, go the other direction. And if I can make such a change, then I can find myself back in my original blessed state. We've also heard it said that God is as close as the air that we breathe. We've also heard it sung that God is as near as our hands and feet. We've all heard it said that God will never leave nor forsake us. We've probably even heard it said that if we make our bed in Hades, I am is there with us. So which one is it? Is he on the other side of the clouds, somewhere you've never been, and even if you had the desire, would need extreme resources and a ton of free time to take the trip? Or is he, is I am, is source, your father, your creator, the beginning, the originator, within you, closer than the air that you breathe, closer than your hands and feet? Which one is it? Because it can't be both. Because one contradicts the other once again. But that book that we based our life on, not even knowing where it really came from, it told us something interesting about having a double mind. It told us that a double mind was an indication that we were unstable in all of our ways. It's time for you to pick a side. Having a double mind has been identified as the basis of your instability, and you know. What else have you been trying to do every day besides hide your instability or fix and rid yourself of your instability, or lashing out because you're identifying yourself with the embarrassment that's attached to your instability? Either way, if we're honest, our hands been really preoccupied with our own instability, and our instability is a product of our double-mindedness, and our double-mindedness is the product of our miscalculations and miseducation, which is why we have been called to forfeiting everything that we think we know and realigning, readopting, reenacting truth that has always been within us, but has been ignored up until this point. It is my intention to present these lessons simply, without high-minded words or vague statements that sound pretty and promising. Thank you. The terms above named are all synonymous. They mean one and the same thing, and I choose to use a simpler name than everyone will understand. I shall call God working in our lives law. Interpreting the law, God, in several ways should bring it more clearly into our way of thinking. Then as we strive to work with the law, God, we are living closer to God, the law. And such living brings a better understanding. And all you're getting, gain understanding. Yeah. As you grow in knowledge and you are able to form better opinions. Do not hesitate to change your views. You be wrong. I be wrong. We be wrong. We've been emotionally charged, emotionally driven. And it's time that we get out of the passenger seat riding with our emotions and we get in the driver's seat, objectively going where it is that we would like to arrive. The choice is all on you. I understand that it feels better sometimes to pretend that it's not because of some of the crash landings and some of the walls that we find ourselves hitting in the physical. But it also is a quicker adjustment, and it also is a much expeditious rerouting process when you identify yourself as the sole culprit, the sole creator, the sole provider of the seeds that are being grown in your life. Ain't nobody else did nothing to you. As you grow in knowledge, you are able to form better opinions. That would be nice because our opinions are terrible. Do not hesitate to change your views. Remember, the wise man changes his mind. The fool never. The wise man changes his mind. The fool never. The fool doesn't become a wise man because the fool doesn't change his foolish ideas. The wise man doesn't end up a fool because when he finds himself in error, he changes his mind. Changing his mind changes his experience. There can be no progress without change. No growth without renewal. There must be a constant stream of new thought, better thought, and a truer thought to ensure progression in life. As soon as you perceive the better, let go of the old. Grasp the new. Don't try to hold on to both. That's been our problem. You just want a lot. You just want a bunch. You preferred the $100 bills over the 520s because one created a stack and one didn't look like a whole lot. You didn't care that they had the same value because oftentimes your motive and my motive, your agenda and my agenda is not to have what it is that we are chasing. It is to be seen with what it is that we are after. People, cars, houses, jobs, careers, whatever. And understand, our culture is so programmed. Our society is so trained that even if a particular demographic of people have made failure the aim, people who say that they want to win will go fail on purpose to blend, which is where certain concepts like a misfit comes from. To continue to hold on to the old and inferior when the new and superior is at hand is to retard growth. Now somebody called you retarded, you mad. But if I walked up and I asked you, are you learning? Are you growing? Most of us would say, yeah, on the day-to-day, I'm making progress. I'm moving. And if you're making progress, remember there is no progress without change. So most of us would say that, yeah, we're making progress. Okay. Well, it's not the battle that you've been fighting. The fact that sometimes you're making progress, sometimes you're implementing the new truths that you have rediscovered and applied to your life. And at other times you are going into autopilot, subconsciously entering back into a old way that you still have clinged to. Is that not the battle that we fight? Have you forgot any of your old ways? Have you forgot any of the words that you say that you used to say? Have you forgot any of the concepts, any of the ideas? Because I can't stand to be around people who say that they've changed, and the only thing that they have altered is their presentation. Because there are people like me who are strong-minded and strong-willed enough to be such an irritant that I will take you right back into your old presentation. Not even purposely. I just didn't let you control me. So to continue to hold on to the old inferior when the new and superior is at hand is to retard growth. So have you been retarding your growth? Have you been trying to hold on to the old way and develop a new way? Have you been trying to develop new habits but still holding on to the old habits that you say you love to have cease and be replaced by the higher, more beneficial, edifying way that you've learned? So why are you holding on to both? Is it because you've been retarding your growth? So the next time somebody asks you about a retarded mental state, or they put you in a retarded mental state classification, maybe you should assess whether you are holding on to the old way and trying to develop a new way, ultimately retarding your growth. So you shouldn't be offended. You should be thankful that somebody took the time to tell you something was going on of such a nature so that you can put it to bed. Stop it. Stop. It's not working. It's never worked. Why is it that you can see what other people are doing that doesn't work for them so well, but you hardly ever make adjustments and adapt in your own life? It blows me that we've made a profession out of assessing other people for the dysfunctional ways that we don't recognize from our own presentation. It's mind-boggling that we've sat people in really big chairs on high platforms and waited for them to judge us as though they were seeing something in us that was not a reflection of them. I mean, you should ask a psychologist, ask a pastor, ask a teacher. How do you y'all be sending y'all kids to school and y'all don't even be knowing them people? You just assume that because a teacher is in a classroom that they have your child's best interests at heart. You do understand that human beings are really selfish, correct? You do understand that the majority of people who have chosen to sell their time for financial gain did so as a compromise, correct? You do understand that you have people in classrooms who never intended to be in classrooms. You do understand that you have people in classrooms who don't even like kids. You do understand that you have people in classrooms who don't know how to teach or understand that their actions are teaching much louder than anything that they are putting on the projector. You do understand that most teachers in Florida are working outside of their field of study. You do understand that this just does not apply to classroom settings. This is life, period. People are constantly trying to tell you and trying to promote ideas and methods and strategies that they've overheard, that they've read, but have no experience and would never give the opportunity for their life to be collapsed by them putting full dependency on what it is they are promoting to someone else. You have people with boyfriends and girlfriends at home that they take abuse psychologically, emotionally, physically, settle, compromise, overlook all kind of things. And then they'll get on the phone with their friends and they'll tell their friends, hey, you shouldn't settle. You don't need to be fooling with that person. You don't need to be over there. And then they'll get so upset with their friend that they talking to their friend different, never understanding that their friend was always a reflection of the dysfunction that they lived their life with and the tyrants that they allowed to run rampant in their own life, but blindly chose to judge somebody else's situation because it was easier, made you feel better. You're not a champion, you're a loser. By presentation. All of us are champions by creation, by identity. But you not knowing that you're a champion have settled for a loser's presentation. No getting around that. There must be a constant stream of new thought, better thought, and truer thought to ensure progression in life. As soon as you perceive the better, let go of the old, grasp the new. To continue to hold on to the old and inferior when the new and superior is at hand is to retard growth. And to this one cause may be traced many of the ills of mankind. Proceed to use your thinking faculty and take care that it does not use you. Use your thinking faculty and make sure that it does not use you. Use your thinking faculty. What is your thinking faculty and how do you use it? How much practice? How many reps? How much time have you invested? How many books have you read? How many seminars have you gone to? How many videos have you watched? Because we know that you'll watch the video about the food. We know that you'll watch videos about people dancing. We know that you'll remember songs. But how much interest have you shown in yourself? Or are you so interested in everything else because you don't know who you are and you base your identity slightly or largely on what you find in other things, places, and people? Who are you? Who are you? Proceed to use your thinking faculty and take care that it does not use you. If you don't use your mind will use you. If you don't use your brain will have you all over the place. If you don't know that your emotions are signs and signals, nothing but extensions of love or fear. Nothing but indications that where you're going is fruitful or it is destitute and a famine awaits you there. Your emotions are for you, not to lead you, not to guide you. They should be like landmarks along the path of a way unknown. We don't know where we're going. We're just constantly progressing through the presentation in the physical that leads back to where we began, which is in the spiritual realm that the physical realm is contingent upon. Master your mind and guide it intelligently. Master your mind. Guide it intelligently. Exercise discrimination in all of your thinking. Learn to think as you ought to think. Give your mental life to the matters that are absolutely essential to your welfare, and the balance of your thought to themes of beauty, truth, and progress. In other words, live with the ideal, but do not neglect the practical. Aim to adjust the two, and to strive to be on the outside what you idealize on the inside. Your thoughts make you, and your ideals, principles, or ruling desires will determine your destiny. Learn to use your powers unless you wish to be used by them. Make a daily effort to use the knowledge you have gained. Try to improve upon all your opinions. Endeavor to obtain a truer and larger conception of each of your personal views. This process entails effort, but all such mental discipline is highly constructive. It leads to a steady increase of mind power, and it is the mind that matters most among life's actualities. You may occasionally blunder. We are all inclined to do this, more so in the earlier stages of our mental development. However, we learn by our mistakes. Then, by the constant use of our intelligence, we cause our faculties to grow so strong and alert that in time we are able to avoid further errors. Sounds like we found what it looks like to be made perfect. See, I was created perfect. I was intended to be perfect, but I forgot that my creation was perfected. So there was a path that was set for me. The choice was mine. The path was set. The choice was mine. The path was God's. The choice was mine. Mankind's problems are mental in nature. They have no existence outside of themselves. Can you get that? If you take nothing else from this man's preface, can you take that? Can you take that and just wipe it all over your existence? Your problems are mental in nature. They have no existence outside of themselves. They exist on the mental plane. If you were to go and grab one and bring one to someone, you would have to be physically able to travel inside of your thoughts and tangibly grab one and bring it back, which we know you can't. Would you challenge yourself to believe that that realm is the only realm where your problems exist? There is no such thing as a problem in the physical. There's a picture, there's a reflection of the problem in the spiritual realm that you probably don't like. And because of your extreme attention to the physical plane, you probably can see a lot clearer the reflection of the problem more than you can see the actual problem that it is within your thinking. That's why you were called to set your mind on the things above. That's why you can't afford to be distracted by the material world. That's why you can't afford to be out here trying to satisfy a flesh that's never satisfied. Because you're gonna miss something. And the things that you're missing are key for the fulfillment that it is you say you're seeking. Man's problems are mental in nature. They have no existence outside of themselves, and it has been discovered that nearly all will yield up their solutions when subjected to a broad and exact analysis. You can acquire this ability by studying the law of life and its modes of expression. Then, by constant effort, use your thinking faculty in constructive ways as you work with these laws. Have good and sound reasons for all of your views that you hold. Have good and sound reasons for all of the views that you hold. Right now, you got a ton of views that you hold that you don't have good or sound reasons for holding. Your mama saying it was true, your daddy saying it was true, the preacher saying it was true, your teacher saying it was true, your basketball coach or your football coach that you don't even talk to no more saying it was true, the principal, the dean, the ISS teacher, no, your cousin them, no. I love Granny. Granny was wise, but everything that Granny said needs to be researched and discovered to be in alignment with truth or in alignment with illusions. And don't nobody mean so much to me that if I find that there's something that you cherish that is not factual, I'm willing to drop my obsession with truth because of my attachment to you. That's an upside down life. That's a life imprisoned. I'm imprisoned to your opinions and your beliefs. If I'm not going to be a prisoner to my own opinions and my own beliefs, I'm definitely not going to be a prisoner to yours. Stop playing. As you try to find these, many of your old-time views will fall to pieces. Form clear and definite ideas regarding your convictions as to why you do as you do, and as to why you think as you think. Such practice is like conducting a mental house cleaning. The practice of clear thinking tends to clarify the mind, tones up the faculties, sharpens the perceptions, and gives one a stronger and better grasp of the basic essentials for a larger and richer life. Clear and exact thinking is a very great necessity. It is, in fact, a sure means to advancement on the material as well as on the spiritual planes. Remember, they're connected. So if you're advancing on one, you're advancing on the other. Remember, if it's true, there should be signs. That's the sign. If I'm advancing in the material, it's because I'm advancing in the spiritual. If not, they are not connected. A line of distinction, however, should be drawn between mere surface thought, that is, ordinary, trivial, and commonplace thinking, and real thought, which is associated with the understanding the truth. The latter is deep thinking, which arouses dormant powers, quickens the perceptions, and leads to the enlargement of the understanding. The former is but a passing phase of mental activity, while the latter governs the life of mankind. So one is child's play, one is an exhibition game, and the other is career mode. One is my career, and the other is random team selection. One is 21, and the other is the playoffs. The inner convictions which control one's aims, desires, and motives constitute the real thought of the individual and wholly determine the course of his life and personal destiny. Psychologists tell us that every individual is controlled by their convictions, whether he is aware of it or not. Such convictions largely determine the nature of his thinking. The inner thought coming from the heart represents the real motives and desires. These are the causes of actions. Remember, we talked about the foundations that our lives are built on, whether they are foundational truths or foundational lies. That is for you to decide. That is you and your free will choice to align your life with love or align your life with fear. But if you align your life with fear, don't be around here lying to the people in your life talking about you love them. These are the causes of actions. If his actions or convictions are wholesome and true to his higher nature, all will be well, and he will reflect something of the harmony and beauty and utility of his constructive and superior views in his personal life. If his convictions or ideas are not wholesome and true, he will reflect something that is discordant, inharmonious, and evil. What is evil? The absence of good. Is it that this person is absent of good? No, it says that he will reflect. He will reflect something that is discordant, inharmonious, and evil. He's reflecting his convictions. His convictions are absent of good, but his convictions are built on illusions. It's not that he is evil. He has partnered himself with the idea that he is something other than he actually is. And that is what's evil. Always make it a point of moving forward in your mind, ever seeking to unfold your power of thought and to develop hidden possibilities. Learn to train the mind to clear and exact thinking. Your ability to do so will grow rapidly by regular exercise and discipline. No normal person wants to decrease in power and ability. Therefore, strive to cultivate your intelligence and to express better, bigger, and superior thought on all matters about which you may think.